Salams and welcome. Thank you for joining me in another episode of Surah Al-Fatiha, which we are busy with. Let's look at Surah Al-Fatiha, 7 verses. We are busy with page number 69. And this is from Ma'ariful Quran, volume number 1. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. So let's just start off with what we ended yesterday, the verse we ended, which is telling us the guarantee of the day of judgment. And then we'll start with the topic as who is the master of the day of judgment, right? Malik Yawmiddin. Who is the Malik of that day, right? So chapter 40, verse 58 to 59. The blind are not equal with the seeing, nor are the wrongdoers with those who believe and do good deeds. Yet you seldom reflect. The hour of retribution is sure to come, no doubt about it, yet most people do not believe. So let's just see the different names for the day of judgment. The Holy Quran calls Akhirah, the world to come, or Al-Qiyamah, doomsday or the day of judgment, or Yawmuddin, the day of requital. So who is the master of that day? Malik, who is the king? Who is the owner? Who is the master? And as what I mentioned on the difficult parts of this tafsir, I'm skipping that because we are just focusing on the basics, right? Now we come to the second question. It should be obvious on a little reflection to everyone that the real master of every particle of dust in the universe, of every atom and molecule, can only be He, the Supreme Creator, God most merciful, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He who has created and nurtured it and who is the owner of that thing which He has created. Nobody else. Whose mastery over everything is complete, having neither a beginning nor an end. He exists before the before and after the after, covering the living and the dead, the apparent and the hidden, the seen and the unseen. On the other hand, on the contrary, the mastery of man is delimited by a beginning and an end. Man is born and man dies. So man has a beginning, man has an end, but Allah does not have a beginning and no end. So it has a before and it did not exist, and an after when it will exist no more. So man's mastery and control extends to the living, not to the dead, to something that can be seen, not to the unseen, to the external aspects of things, not to the internal. All this would show to those who can see that the real master of the whole universe, not only on the day of judgment, but even in this dunya, is no one else except Allah, La ilaha illallah. Then why should this verse specify the day of judgment or the day of requital? The verses of Surah Al-Mu'mineen, chapter 40 of the Quran, serve as a commentary on the phrase under discussion and provide a clear account of the day of requital. Let's read that verse again. It's a little bit above. We just read it a short while ago. This is chapter 40, Surah Al-Mu'mineen, verses 58 to 59. The blind are not equal with the seeing, nor the wrongdoers with those who believe and do good deeds, yet you seldom reflect. Don't you use your brains? Allah has given you such a beautiful brain, an intelligent brain. You don't think, you don't ponder, you don't use your intelligence. That the hour of retribution is sure to come. There's no doubt about it. Yet most people do not believe. And the sad part is that the most intelligent people, the scientists and the atheists, they don't want to believe, but they've got the best brains, right? And that is a sad part, because some of them are so intelligent, so kind, so good, but they don't want to use the brain. So the verses of this chapter, Surah Al-Mu'min, chapter 40, serve as a commentary on the phrase under discussion and provide a clear account of the day of judgment. The real and complete mastery over everything, no doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, belongs to Allah alone, even in this world. La ilaha illallah. Yet Allah Himself, in His beneficence and wisdom, has granted a kind of imperfect, temporary and apparent mastery to man as well. So man can, because they've got this temporary mastery, they can control various things because of the intelligence. Then they feel they are accountable to no one. The arrogance starts flowing in the vein. They become like shaitan or the devil, and they think that they are God with a small g, like how Fir'aun thought that he is the Lord of the universe. And the Sharia, in laying down laws for worldly affairs, has given due consideration to man's limited right to ownership. But today, in possessing lands or money or power, which has been given to him by way of test and trial, man has always been prone to get drunk with pride and vanity and boasting and arrogance. Let's see what note number 4 says. Especially the modern living in the so-called humanistic civilization, when the sole drive and motivating force is the complacent belief in man's mastery. So some nations think, you know what, we can invade any country we want and no one can stop us. We can have colonial invasion, imperialism and expansionist policy, no one can stop us. We control the judiciary, we control the lawyers, we control anybody. Some criminals, they're criminal gangs in government, so they say we can steal what we want to, we can do bribery, we can have corruption, we can fiddle with the tenderpreneurs, we can get rich, we can enrich our family and friends, nobody can touch us. And so are the criminals in the government. There are criminals in the street, there are churches in the street, there are churches in government, there are churches on the, even wearing suit and ties in the business boardrooms, and there are churches in the global world stage. And some of these criminals become so huge, so powerful, that they feel nobody can touch them, they're not accountable to anyone, and they say, no, God does not exist. Because the scientists tell them that from the time of Charles Darwin, where they felt that, okay, everyone has come from monkeys or apes, so there's a common origin from a single cellular multi-organism, from a single cellular cell to a multicellular organism, and this world is a coincidence, there's no God. Yet their own science has proved that the universe has a beginning from the Big Bang. It means cause and effect. God exists, but they are too shy to use the word God, so they just simply say there's something there, we don't know what it is. Yet the arrogance is coming to them, shaitan, they have become basically soldiers of the devil or Lucifer or the Iblis, and they justify the evil, like the ones who study the teachings of Niccolo Machiavelli, and they say no, evil is good, we must become tyrants and dictators, and these are the ones who don't care about God, who don't care about the day of judgment, and they are the ones who think that they are arrogant and they can do what they want to. Why? Because they become drunk with pride and vanity. They are the army of Shaitan or the devil or Lucifer. The phrase master of the day of judgment is a warning to mankind, reeling in his forgetfulness and self-conceit and arrogance and boastfulness and pride, and an intimation that all his possessions, all his relationship with things and other people are only short-lived for less than 100 years, and that there shall come a day, which is a guarantee, when masters will no more be masters and slaves no more slaves. That is why the day of judgment is also known as the day of loss and gain. The big shots will become little shots, and the little shots will become big shots. When no one will own anything, even in appearance. You came naked and bankrupt into the world, you will go naked and bankrupt. You are not born with pockets, and you will leave without pockets. Your final burial shroud, your coffin does not have pockets. You don't even go with your Rolex watch, right? You leave everything behind. And the ownership and mastery, apparent as well as real, of the entire universe will be seen to belong to none but Allah the Exalted. La ilaha illallah. The Holy Quran tells us as follows in Surah Al-Mu'min, verse number 14. The day they will present themselves before Allah, and nothing of theirs will remain hidden from Allah, even apparently. Whose is the kingdom today? Of Allah alone, the One, the Mighty. Today, everyone will be recompensed for what he has done. Today, no one will be wronged. Allah's reckoning is surely swift. On that day, the criminals of the world, whether it is a churchy or a criminal in the street, or a churchy or a big criminal in the community, or a churchy or a big criminal in government, or a churchy or a big criminal in big business, or a churchy or a criminal on the world stage, all their crimes will be revealed. Even if they had secret meetings in the garage in a township, or secret meetings at their home, or secret meetings in a boardroom, or secret meetings in deep underground nuclear bunkers, no matter where they had their secret meetings, where there was no internet connection, there was no one recording anything, they forget that the angels, the Kiram and Katibin, have been recording, and Allah is with them. Allah is with them in Parliament. Allah is with them everywhere. Allah is with you in Senate and Congress and on the world stage. And on that day, all the evil crimes that people have done, the ones that they murdered secretly, the ones they raped secretly, all the crimes that they were doing, the financial scams, the criminal activities that people were doing, even those who are anonymous and hiding behind the internet and scamming people's accounts and deceiving people, all of the crime will be exposed. And then when Israfil alayhi salam blows the trumpet for 40, we don't know whether 40 is 40 hours or 40 weeks or 40 months or 40 years. But after the blowing, everything will be dead, and the entire universe, at least the entire earth, will be silent. Even Mount Everest, everything will be pounded to dust. Your houses will be dust, your cars will be dust, the intercontinental ballistic missiles will be dust, the trains will be dust, the planes will be dust, the private jets will be dust, the casinos will be dust, the yachts and ships will be dust, the entire earth will just be filled with powder. Everything will turn to dust. And then Allah will ask the question, whose is the kingdom today? This is where Allah's attribute Ya Qahar manifests itself, because Allah prevails over everything. Where are the dictators of the world today? There'll be no answer. Where are the kings of the world today? There'll be no answer. Where are the tyrants of the world today? There'll be no answer. Where are the oppressors of the world today? There will be no answer, because everyone will be in the dust. And when Israfil alayhi salam blows the second time, and when the rain falls, they will all stand in front of Allah on the day of judgment, which is a guarantee which no one can escape. It doesn't matter whether you're a Christian or a non-Christian, a Muslim or a non-Muslim, a Buddhist or a Scientologist or a pagan worshipper or a traditional healer or a Sangoma or a monotheist, pantheist, polytheist, agnostic, even the atheists, those who don't believe in God, even Charles Darwin and Professor Richard Dawkins and Professor Brian Cox and Carl Sagan, everybody, even the Pope and the presidents and prime ministers and honorable members of parliaments, every single human being, even Mandela and Michael Jackson and Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King, everybody, Elvis Presley and all the Hollywood and Bollywood stars that we like to watch them on TV and everyone else, which we think they are so good, they will all stand in front of God, the supreme creator of the heavens and the earth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is a guarantee which no one can escape. Join me in the next episode as we continue with page number 70 of Surah Al-Fatiha in Ma'ariful Quran. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillah.